Hey everyone, here are the best mods of the month for May 2026 in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager and on Nexus Mods. There's a lot of great stuff here to cover, so for a brief overview, we got a custom summon mod with the Drakes by Wuffy, huge quest overhaul for Wyll with the If Fate Chose Differently, which adds over 60 lines of voice dialogue from Wyll's voice actor, and custom lip syncing. Incredible stuff there. I also released my first weapon pack mod with the Fire, Frost, and Flora swords, and I also released my latest subclass mod with the Wild Spring Barbarian, which is the wildest subclass out there. We also have mods for D&D fans with the Legend of Drizzt class, dynamic difficulty scaling, some romance mods, and much more. Now, Drakes by Wuffy is incredible. This mod by Wuffy Sarah adds an actual custom Drakes here to the game, and you got 10 different ones to choose from. They are super freaking adorable here, and you get either rings or necklaces, so you can have this on all of your companions. And what it does is it gives you the elemental infusion there, but the summon chromatic or metallic drakes. So with this summoning spell, you can bring these in. Summons a drake, takes on the aspect there. It's going to have a relevant type of breath attack, multi-attack, and they also have different abilities here. They can also create vulnerabilities to things like fire damage and instill fear in the target. And these all have custom animation here, so there's the fire breath attack and an ice breath attack as well. Now, I just covered this in my best mods of the week, but it did release on May 31st, my birthday, so it fits in May. And if you want to see a deeper dive into this mod, I'd recommend checking out my playlist of the best mods of the week, where I go in these a little bit more in depth. Now, I'm really excited to share with you guys the Fire, Frost, and Flora swords mod here. This is a pretty big project that adds in short swords, long swords, and great swords, and they have with or without VFX here. So you got like the icy sword, as you can see there, fire brand, frost brand, and Flora brand. Each of the weapons will allow you to ignore resistances to fire, cold, or poison damage, so you can use them on a spellcaster, and they come with some extra added effects. Like the weapon here gives you increased critical hit chance, the cold one will give you advantage on attacks, or gives you bleeding on attacks against foes that you have advantage against, and the poison blade here will deal additional 1d6 of acid against fiends and undead. And then I gave the legendary version of it the ability to heal yourself, kind of like a Giga Drain. Now, I just released the Dark Urge sword and shield pack, so you can go check that out. It'll be in next month's video. But one cool thing about this is they work together. So if you want to have a frosty shield, you can just equip the weapon. It also doesn't show it until you attack, but you get an additional 1d6 of cold, poison, or fire damage only on the legendary versions. I try to keep these as balanced as possible, and I gotta say they are pretty well balanced with custom appearances here, as you can see. And here is the Flora sword itself, and then the fire sword has some cool like little indents on it as well. And there's Gale with the frost sword. And I also released the Wild Spring Barbarian here, which also comes with the Nature's Rage weapon pack. This is me dipping my toes in the water to figure out how weapon packs work. There are 10 different weapons with this, and this has a lot of combat options. So you can create walls of stone for free, you can create entanglements, plant growth, and it has different ways to play as you progress through the game. So you do get a lot of abilities, which is not normal for a barbarian, but there's one that lets you jump up really high, making jumps not cost a bonus action, increasing your dash range so that you can jump really far away. The whole point of this is to get on top of a building, kick someone off it, or jump to the top of the building and use the diving strike here. So it's kind of like a greatest hits of barbarian abilities. And like a lot of my other mods, it does have summons, so it has an actual flumph here, as well as angry chickens, a bunny rabbit if you want, as well as a giant squirrel, and yeah, you can do some pretty cool stuff. It also gives you the wild magic rage, so you get all the fun of doing that. And it also comes with these 10 weapons, including the Photosynthesis Smasher. I was real proud of that name. And I also just recently added a new punch attack to it, because some people wanted to play with like a tavern brawler style playstyle, because you can kick and get the extra damage on there. I have a full list of all the abilities, and it gives you all the way up to level 20. So yeah, go check it out. It's actually really fun to play. And next, we got the Legend of Drizzt. This mod is made by Creative Excuses here, and if you know Drizzt Do'Urden, he is a very popular D&D character. He's actually playable in the Dark Alliance 2 Baldur's Gate game, and he's an unlockable character in that. Pretty cool stuff. But this class is called the Light in the Dark. It also comes with a different subclass. You can choose between the Path of the Lone Drow or the Grace of the Exile. This is like a 2-weapon fighting martial class that comes with a bunch of different abilities. In addition, you also get his Panther, and it does level up and get new abilities as you continue to level up. So the whole point of this class is to use light armor, the 2 scimitars, which actually there's a mod for Twinkle and Icing Death that just released by Scurvy. But what's cool about this is you get a lot of extra movement. You got that Panther that levels up, and it got all the way up to level 20 support. And a little fun fact about Drizzt, there's actually multiple references to him in Baldur's Gate 3, and Astarion actually makes a pretty funny reference. He says Drizzt don't Urden, and kind of like cringes at his own joke. But yeah, this is perfect for D&D fans. Next up, we got dynamic difficulty scaling by Graphic Fade. This is another incredible difficulty mod. So this will automatically level up enemies and give them proper health scaling. So if you're playing and, level up a little bit too much because you're using mods, this will at least give you a challenge throughout. And this is also by party level and party size. So if you're playing with a party of 8, you don't have to worry. You're going to have them scaled up in proper health. It also can give a 40% chance for the enemies to come with pre-casted abilities like Mage Armor, Bless, Blur. And then bosses will also have different abilities, and they get additional damage reduction on the first few turns of combat so that you don't just, use the regular old Chain Lightning water cheese. And if you check out the Nexus mod page, there is an article with a detailed breakdown of everything that goes on with this mod. So I would encourage you to check that out if this sounds interesting. Honestly, one of the coolest difficulty mods in the game right now. So difficulty, dynamic scaling. Next, we got Astarion's Graveyard Scene extended by Revolution Scribe. This will add new additional scenes to Graveyard Scene with Astarion and show some of the animation details that get hidden because the camera angles, for whatever reason, in the scene are not great. So this allows you to get a little bit more out of the Astarion romance. I know a lot of people really do enjoy that. And it comes with maximum leg thing. There's also a video by Revolution Scribe, so I'd recommend checking out the link in the description if you want to see more of this. Next up is the Moon Knight Armor by Martin_9, not affiliated with the actual Moon Knight character from Marvel. This is the beautiful armor set that you see on Fane here. Now, this is great because it's actually themed from something in the base game, the Wraithwind statues. Great for like a Cleric, a Selûne, or a Paladin. Really anyone can take advantage of this really nice looking armor set. Best of all, this is body types 1, 2, 3, 4, and Dragonborn. So yeah, I love when our mods do that because it's obviously a lot of work. I tried to do that for one of my mods, and it requires you to remake the outfit like 16 times for every single body type. So yeah, this looks beautiful. Definitely worth checking out. Next up, we got Daisy's Headband here by Barry Semifreddo. We actually have a few different mods from them. This is a flapper style headband with some shimmering diamonds and effects. So I'll just go through their images because they do a much better job of showcasing this. And yeah, this is really a nice piece to add alongside some other outfits that you may have. So yeah, as you can see there, that is what this looks like. If you have watched The Great Gatsby, you'll be familiar with this here. Super beautiful piece of equipment here. Following up, we also have the Myrmidon's Armor, also by Barry Semifreddo. And here's what the outfit looks like. Now, the nice thing about this, Barry Semifreddo does this with a lot of their mods, you have modular pieces that you can go with. So if you just want the arm pieces, you can add this to other outfits. And if you just want the neck piece, you can go with that, or just the chest armor. There's ones with just the torso, and there's also a piece with just the armor itself and no sleeves on it. So yeah, this is another really beautiful piece of armor. And best of all, it also has a dyeable version of it as well. So if you want to go with something like that. One thing I also really do appreciate about Barry Semifreddo's mods is that you can actually drop the chests and they have a unique appearance to them. So this fits the theming there. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a fiery appearance. And following up with the outfit that I have on my character here, the Ondefleur dress ensemble by Barry Semifreddo. This comes with 3 different versions. The one that I have is the gradient version. There's a metallic version, and there's just a plain old white one there. And best of all, this is also dyeable. So if there's a certain type that you want, there's also a water version too. So yeah, there's the watery one. I gotta say, this outfit is really nice. So if you're looking for a new dress mod, this is the one to download. It is amazing. There's also camp clothing versions and non-camp clothing versions, depending if you want to have your weapon shown or not. And we'll look at the chest there. It is beautiful and watery. So we got the water and fire. Great release. So go check them out. Next up, we got the Heartstrings, a musical bow for all by Callie Sins. This adds in a large bardic bow, which is great for a variety of reasons because it comes with a bunch of different elemental effects. I'd highly recommend using the ice bow alongside my Winter Spirit Bard subclass. They fit together very well. I love large weapons, and a large bow like this that fits the theming of a bard is just amazing. So here are the different stats that come alongside it. It also comes with Perish Song, so if you're a competitive Pokemon player, you'll know that all too well. And yeah, you have both the legendary and non-legendary versions getting additional damage on their attacks, and it's one for every type of element here. Perish Song is not as powerful as his Pokemon, but it's still a fun ability. So really cool stuff, especially if you like to play as a bard and you're looking for a new weapon to add alongside it. We'll also follow this up with another mod by Callie Sins, the I Cannot Believe It's Not Halberds. This is a spear weapon mod. Welcome to the Spear Coast. There's not a lot of great spears in the game, and this changes that. It adds in multiple different aesthetic looking spears here that have a variety of different elemental effects to them. So I'm just going to go through some of them here to give you an idea of what these all look like. Yeah, the game needs more spears. This has no halberds allowed, which adds in all of these here. So you got ones that deal up 1d10 extra cold damage. If you miss a target, you'll get True Strike, giving advantage on the next attack. It's also a homing weapon, so you can throw it, and it has the thrown property, so you get that extra damage on top of that. And it also comes built in with Savage Attacker. So yeah, another elemental based weapon, and these are beautiful. You can see them on the right hand side there, so this is perfect for your next playthrough if you're doing like an elemental build. And they also come with some different like corrosive, draining elemental attacks, and all these mods are available in the tutorial chest. Next up, we got the White Ghost set by Skirby. Unfortunately, this is one that is very difficult to showcase, so I'm a huge fan of Wuchang Fallen Feathers. I played that game when it released, and I beat it literally the week it came out because I loved it so much. This is loosely themed on that. You may recognize if you played the game, which is now available on PlayStation Plus. They come with some very thematic abilities on each of them here, so again, you can pause this if you want to read through it. I'm just not going to name it all. The two different versions of the outfit, you can dye it as well, and it comes with the White Ghost short sword with slashing or piercing damage, depending on your taste. Another awesome mod by Skirby. Following up, another mod by Skirby, the Cobalt Key Warrior Progressive Equipment Set. This is another one. It's kind of Keyblade looking, and this is what it all has for. It has special abilities, Thundaga, and also a Teleport Strike and the Twisted Hour. I did do a previous video talking about this in a little bit more detail. It's a progressive weapon, so you unlock new abilities as you level up. And the armor will also level up alongside your character as well, with some different spells attached to each of these. So Blizzaga, Curaga, you name it. Now, who saw that Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer? That looks awesome. I'm so excited for that. And I've been listening to Kingdom Hearts 2 main intro song non-stop repeat. So exciting to see this, and another amazing mod by Skirby. Next up, I'm going to let this one pass. It came out April 30th, but this is one that I've been using in pretty much all my videos. Midnight Sparkle by Obscenity. You've probably seen this on Shadowheart here. I think this is one of the most nice formal dress outfits in the game. It also comes with a mask, this little rose piece, and it's a modular one. So if there are particular pieces of this that you want to use, there's two versions, one that's sparkly, one that's not sparkly. You can even just use the mask, because the mask itself looks really cool. So you can see this on Shadowheart here. Very well detailed. Love the little rose there. And another incredible outfit mod, and you'll probably see that in a lot of my future videos because I just think this is nice. So Midnight Sparkle by Obscenity. And next up, we got the Crimson Hair Catalog Additional Hairstyles by Sweet Generous Things Mods. Now, there's no magic mirror where I'm at, so I'm just going to take you through some of their images here to give you an idea what these all look like. I really like the Crimson Hair packs. There's pack 1, 2, and this one now is the bonus one. And it comes with so many cool new hairstyles that you just don't see often in hair pack mods. So a lot of them are large and in charge. This one, the Bad Habit, a little bit shorter. And I honestly think these are really nice for a variety of different characters. In addition, the head mod that I've been using a bunch of. Now, this one did release in June, but it actually came out on Nexus Mods in May, so I'm going to count it here for the purposes of this instead of just showing the Nexus Mod version. There's a few of these actually, so this is the Luna head here. The one that I'm using is the Malice head here, but they also just released the Vampiric head pack here, which did come out in June again, but I'm still going to showcase it here because these are some of my favorite head mods. There's the Elia head, Eldia, Rena, Nessa, Mercy, and even for halflings, you got Muriel and Sage. My bad, that's gnomes. They're looking to add halflings next. So really like these because they have vampiric and non-vampiric. So if you want to see the vampiric teeth, you can go with that version. Yeah, Manuli Peroni got a lot of really great head mods. And another head mod, we got the Foxey Lady head presets here. This one actually made it to console pretty quickly. It came out May 12th. This is by Sweet Generous Things Mods, and there's also the Foxey Fellow. So another really nice head mod here that goes alongside the Crimson Hair pack. So perfect to pair together or with some of your other favorite cosmetic mods, and just an idea of what it can look like upon different races here. So yeah, I'm always a fan of getting new head mods that just give something new to the game, and this is the Foxey Lady and Fellow. Getting into some class mods, we got the Ranged Paladin option by the Wailing Bard. This is amazing because whenever you go to choose your Paladin subclass, this can work on any of them, and it gives you an option between melee and ranged smites. Now, the ranged smites will have a little bit less damage to keep things balanced, so regular old Divine Smite does a 2d8, this does a 2d6. And Fiends and Undead will get that additional 1d6 as well, because obviously smiting someone from across the room should come with a bit of a drawback, so the melee smites will have a higher damage option. This works great with any of your Paladin subclass mods that you're enjoying, so if you want to spice things up, you can add this in, and it is the Holy Archer's Ranged Paladin option. And they also released the Couatl Herald, a less lethal fighter subclass, also by the Wailing Bard here. This comes from Griffin's Saddlebag, and it's a fighter that's more of a lover, I guess, in a sense. You have Mercy die, which are used to buff up your teammates and give temporary health points. It's a charisma-based fighter. It's really cool, and it has a scaling all the way up to level 20. Now, Elden Ring fans are going to love this one, the Cureseflame domain. This has a new type of fire in the game, Cureseflame, which does cold and necrotic damage. Comes with a bunch of custom spells all the way up, and this just a next level mod. So yeah, you get your Curse Smite there, you can hex targets, and you also get resistance to the Cureseflame effects. Level 2 gives you the Cureseflame Cataclysm using your Channel Divinity, and I'll show you that in a second. Cureseflame Ray, as well as Silence. So here is a Cureseflame Cataclysm spell. It is so cool. So I'll show off the VFX here. Let's use your Channel Divinity. Boom, you got these white fires here, which leave the Cureseflame on the ground there, which will make a target take the necrotic and cold damage and light them on this nice white fire. This is seriously so cool. I'm always a fan of different types of fire damages, and Elden Ring has literally like 12, more than 12 different types of fire, Cureseflame being one of them. And thankfully you don't have to fight a Deathrite bird to get these. I hate those in Elden Ring Night Rain, but such a cool class with some custom abilities, and I love the different appearances of the fire there. It looks really cool with the burning white flame. Definitely worth checking out. This is an amazing class mod. And following this up, we got the Crimson Dynasty Sorcerer subclass. I did a full deep dive of this one in my best new subclass mods, which I'll also have linked in the comments here. This is a blood-themed sorcerer that has a lot of really fun effects, kind of like a risky reward. You want to try and set up blood surfaces and then use your different abilities here to get advantages from it. You get different spells and cantrips like the Blood Bolt, Sacrificial Siphon, Blood Sacrifice, Field of Reaping, and Crimson Harvest. And you can pick which dialogue tags that you want to have. This comes from the Legends of Drizzt, the Crooked Moon. It's a folk horror 5e supplement now available in Baldur's Gate 3. And there's a lot of stuff going on with this incredible mod by Dog Priest. It's highly worth checking out. I should also mention the Cureseflame domain is by Baldur Dumblegate. And next we got this mod here by Magna Tuning, the Be Nice to Wyll in-game mod manager version. Have you ever noticed some of the dialogue towards Wyll is very rough and abrasive? Well, this does change it. So, Ravengard survives. You were disavowed. There must be more of the stories. The regular. I won't push you, but there must be more of the story. So a lot of the dialogue ends up being a lot more nicely. Lay it out plainly, Wyll gets changed to, that's concerning, what do you mean? Wyll went through so many different rewrites. I don't blame Larian for sometimes not having the perfect amount of dialogue or perfect lines for him, because Wyll used to be a lot more rough and tough himself, and he's a nice fella. He's one of the most true good characters in Baldur's Gate 3, so this mod changed a lot of the dialogue to reflect that. I'm just going to go through some of the different original verses edited here, and yeah, you just aren't as much of a dick to him, so I think that this is really nice. And we do have some more mods for Wyll coming up here. Like Will You Sit With Me by Hyperspace Towel. This is similar to some of their other mods here, which let you sit down with a stool beside them, and they'll say a variety of different lines. So the seat to the frontiers there, you sit down, 2 halflings walk under a bar. So yeah, he has a lot of different dialogue that he'll say whenever you sit there. Always good to talk, my friend. And it gives him over 50 different reactions depending on where you are in terms of a relationship with him, or if you just, good buddies with him. And yeah, I think this is really cool. We have another Wyll mod coming up here shortly. The Night Orchid Hair Accessory for Shadowheart by Martin_9. This changes up Shadowheart's hairpiece here. And if you like this mod a lot, you can also use it for your character here, and it's also fully dyeable. So with this mod, you can go ahead here, add this to your character, and then you'd go ahead with selecting a horn color, and with that you can change the color of the accessory here. So this is really sweet, especially if you like this appearance here. You can see it looks really cool with the red. So you can use the one for Shadowheart, or you can use the one here for your character. Now, if you watch Larian Studios live stream today, you would have saw them use some of my mods, and you would have saw them using Wither's Yassified here by Eladwin. This is what happens when you turn DLSS 5 on. It makes this happen to Wyll. So yeah, since DLSS 5 is not out yet, you can download this mod to get those effects. Also, Larian Studios does have a collection on Mod.io where they link all the mods that they're using in their live stream playthrough, and yeah, there's some of my mods. And also by Eldwin, we have the Orin Quinn mod here. This one is really sweet because it actually suits her very well. So yeah, this goes great alongside the Gort Fieri here. So if you want to add in something a little bit extra to the Dead 3 here, this is perfect. We're waiting for the J. Jonah Jameson mod. But yeah, this is perfect. Balls, little chosen. And the last mod here from Mod.io, the Lamp of Luxury by Forkira May. Actually, we have a couple more. The Lamp of Luxury adds in the lamp as a visible place here. This is something you can go to in Act 3. It took me the longest time to figure out this was actually a location in the game. But yeah, this acts like a little bit of a camp for you. So you can drop down your stuff and you get a lamp that literally will just teleport you there. Also, they dropped a pretty huge mod, the Unidentified. This by Forkira May is crazy. So basically, if you play Diablo and other games, you'll recognize something like the Unidentified. So you grade a dagger and you're not sure what it is. This has a chance to apply to all gear in the game, and you're going to have to use the Identify Divination spell or grab scrolls, or by grabbing scrolls of it, which is added to the loot pools, to identify those items. This just adds a lot of mystery to the game, and I think this is such a cool mod because it just like if you're using a loot randomizer, it makes the game feel totally different. And there's a chance for common 8%, uncommon 40%, rare 29, very rare 19, and legendary 4 for this to happen. So you'd be using the new items that it adds in, the scrolls of identify, to be able to figure out what each of these are. It is seriously such a cool mod. It's kind of like a difficulty mod, but it just adds to the excitement of the game, and especially great if you're using a loot randomizer. It also will apply to any mods that you may have installed. So if you use the tutorial chest, you may see this happen, but you can always just summon in more of the scrolls and identify those items. And they also released a Skip Act 1 mod here by 4KRMA. This lets you do exactly that. You get asked a bunch of choices here. There's 21 different pop-up questions depending on how you want the game to proceed through. Because let's face it, everyone's done Act 1 at least 100 times, especially if you're using mods. So this lets you skip that and go right to Act 2 by either the Mountain Pass or the Underdark, and you get to choose a variety of different things here. So there's a lot of major choices that you get to choose, but this is a lot faster than running through Act 1. So massive, massive mod. 4KRMA is doing a lot of really great stuff. Now on to Nexus Mods. This is huge. If Fate chose differently, it will pack points overhaul WCU mod by Magna Tuning. Now I did a video yesterday talking about this mod because this is seriously so cool. What this does is it adds in packed points for Wyll. It comes with custom dialogue as well, and no AI used. It's all done using lines that were recorded for the game, not utilized. And Magna Tuning actually went through and did the lip syncing to match it within the game, which is honestly such a next level mod. This is something worth downloading because it just adds so much to the game. And honestly, if you were to download this, it feels like it's part of the game itself. It gives him agency somewhat similar to Shadowheart and her decision in Act 2, where you're going to go through and you have to get the pack points to be able to, you know, make the difficulty challenge of the story for Wyll a little bit easier. And I don't want to spoil too much about this. They do have a video that goes over a lot of the dialogue in it, but there's over 60 different lines of dialogue, new dialogue for the narrator, and it just gives Wyll more of an active role in his own story, which obviously with the rewrites and changes to his character, it happens, and that's what mods are all about. This really does change things. They also have a lot of other mods for Wyll that I'd highly recommend checking out, so go on there, go endorse these mods. They're so amazing. Huge, huge overhaul. Next, we got Sunvale Cottage VP map. This is by Leonore But Sad. This is a really cool one because it adds in this beautiful place. At the start of the game, right by the church there, you're going to find this book. You'll go activate it and teleport to this summer cottage. So beautiful. This is for photography mostly, but you can do some other stuff in here, and it looks amazing as you can see from these pictures. I did cover this previously in my best mods of the week video. Teleporting between them and going through to Act 1 takes a long time, so I'm just going to go with their shots because they do a really great job of illustrating this and the type of pictures that you can take of your characters. So yeah, if you're into virtual photography, this is a mod to download. And Leonore But Sad also released Leonore's Uncursed Moonrise Towers. This is Moonrise Towers if it was nice and not scary. So again, another great virtual photography mod because this looks seriously so cool. So if you're into taking shots, this is another awesome mod to add into your list because it just gives so many cool new places to take pictures. And you enter through a very similar place to the last one at the start of Act 1. Definitely worth checking out. No, I actually covered this one a couple of weeks ago. The Photo Booth PB mini sets here by Sparrow's Wench. This adds in a few places to take photos. Here's an idea of what you're looking at. It actually is more so of a photo booth style setup. It comes with different rooms. You enter into these rooms and they have these different setups here. Great for taking shots with your characters. I think it is really sweet. So just love the virtual photography mods for this game. And there's actually a lot of virtual photography mods that release this month. I love them all. This by Inky Please, Emerald Lake, a map for VP, is where we were at for this entire video. So this adds in a very summary mod, and again, these are mostly used for doing like virtual photography, but I did post a video on how to get combat and do different types of stuff in these, and I am working on a mod that will hopefully add a bit more to this type of stuff if you're not into virtual photography, so you can take advantage of these beautiful new locations. So yeah, that is the Emerald Lake right here. So cool. Yeah, it's amazing. And we also got the Pride and Prejudice maps for VP by Inky Please, which adds in 2 new maps to the game, and this is the Wildlands version of it. And here is the cliff location. I've been using this in a few videos of mine. I love these virtual photography maps. Just gives you something new to see if you have like over 300 hours, 3,000 hours in this game and hundreds of hours making mods. Sometimes you just want to see something new, and that's what this mod here delivers. And I gotta say, these maps are absolutely massive. So yeah, so cool to see stuff like this getting added to the game. And again, they're mostly used for virtual photography, but yeah, there's a lot of different things you can also do within these. And here's an idea of some of the shots that you can take in these mods. So yeah, beautiful locations. And another amazing mod here by Inky Please, the Rose Hill Cemetery, a map for VP. I've been using this in a few other videos as well. I even use this for screenshots of one of my latest mods here. This is another beautiful location. It's dark, it's scary, and it's perfect for a photo shoot. And Halloween's coming up in a few months. I'm excited for it, and this would be a great spot to have some spooky vibes. So yeah, this is a very well detailed map, and you can do some cool shots within it. Yeah, there's just so much going on with these amazing photography mods. And how they work is basically you get an item in your tutorial chest that gives you a spell, which then adds it to your map. So they're very easy to use, which is awesome. And finally, we're going to end off with a Divinity Original Sin 2 mod for Baldur's Gate 3, the Fane Head preset. I already did a video talking about Sabiel's armor. Now we got Fane's skeleton head. Fane's my favorite character in it. It doesn't give you the body, but you can always download another skeleton-like mod and we'll have that appearance there. This is what it looks like if you're not using those, but if you do use something like the Undead mod by Ghouls of Rules, you can then have an actual skeletal body. So yeah, that's the mod that I've been using here. I think that this is amazing and definitely worth checking out. So yeah, it's been an incredible month. May is full of amazing mods, and June's already shaping up to be an incredible month as well. I just released a new weapon pack mod, the Dark Sword and Shield pack, so you can go check that out if you'd like. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you did, and we'll catch you in the next one.